Well, look at me, guys. This is the first time, because this development is 100 acres large, you know. So I was able to get an electric scooter. Okay guys, today we're checking out Lake Edge Puchong by YTL Land. Let's go. Guys, who knew Puchong actually has such a beautiful development? Lake Edge is starting to look very interesting. You look at that. You actually have a very nice basketball futsal area, and we are actually heading towards the clubhouse right now. And this is all within this massive development of 100 acres in Puchong itself. Let's go. Now, one of the main reasons why this place is called Lake Edge, right, is because of that over there. Look at that beautiful lake, guys. It's the one with the water features as well, the water fountain. Oh, I never knew Puchong has this, you know. I'm so lost of words right now. Oh wow, guys, I am honestly so amazed that this development is 2 decades old. Actually, maybe back in the days, you have more emphasis on like this type of very massive scale township developments, right? But if you look at the way it's structured and the way it's actually planned out, right, with only 400 plus units within 100 acres of land size, no developers in today's context would have done this kind of scale project. Trust me, most developers nowadays, you got extra acres of land, it's going to be high-rise building. But YTL, they decided to actually build this massive scale development. You look at this, it has like a playground area within the compound itself, an extra basketball court as well. Personally, when you come into this part of town, you really forget that you're actually still within Puchong, you know. This is actually Puchong itself. But this is also not to mention this area itself, right? When you're coming into this landed compound, the driveway is also a little bit hectic lah. In the sense whereby, because there's still ongoing construction developments, because Puchong is a very, very highly sought after area to begin with. If you look at the roads that we came in just now, right, the roads are like because a lot of lorries are passing by, and there's also quite a fair bit of industrial lots in this area. And guys, this behind me is the beautiful lake of Lake Edge itself. Look at this. If you look at that tower over there, that's PFCC, right? That's the Puchong Financial Convention Center. So it means that you can actually look across this area. Further down is already towards Bandar Putri. And guys, oh my god! There's a monitor lizard. Guys! There's a monitor lizard. Oh my god. Okay, that distracted me for a while, but actually this location also enjoys the train station being not too far away. Okay, it's close to LRT Puchong Jaya and also Pusat Bandar Puchong, the two main stations that's not too far from this direction. So being strategically located in Puchong, close to train station, accessibility to a lot of very developed shop lots over here surrounding it. And if that is not enough, you even have a shopping mall within the vicinity. It's less than 5 minutes. I was thinking just turn left, turn right, then you are there already. Okay guys, and just look at this beautiful linear park. I just saw some children and their families actually walking past the area, right? And imagine this, if you stay in the houses over here, you get to enjoy this type of amenities as well. Wow! This is like a resort villa in that sense, right? So I believe this is where all the atas Puchong people are actually hiding at. Now one thing I noticed about this place, right, and I think this is across Puchong, not specific to this development, is there is a crow issue. Now, it may annoy some people, but because when I was walking entirety of the development, I noticed there was a lot of crows like flying around, and also there's quite a lot of bird shit. So I mean, I don't think this is specific towards this particular development. It's just because there's a lake over here and there's ample amount of space. So obviously this place is also where the crows actually come and nest or whatnot. This one over here, I want to highlight the fact that it's actually a curved driveway. You see how the roads are actually supposed to be slanting a little bit? And they did that with intention because This is actually to prevent cars from driving very fast. Because it's straight road, it's very easy for you to just tekan all the way, accelerate all the way down, right? But if it's curvy a little bit, then you need to be a bit more mindful and more careful also lah. Now, this is a very thoughtful design by the developer YTL, right? And maybe that's also one of the reasons why they won the FIABCI Award, because when you look at this entire township, right, in 2006-7-ish, you really need to conceptualize this concept over here. Not easy. Okay, so now, obviously these developments will never happen again in Puchong itself for the obvious reason of scarcity of land lah. It's going to be impossible for you to replicate or mimic such a development on this scale. So, the only thing that they can do is actually have an extra land adjacent to this development, and that is their new project lah, which is called Danau, which is a condominium, but a very low density condominium lah. So we are going to check that out as well. Let's go. Okay, so after checking out Lake Edge, there is actually a new development coming up by YTL Land, which is Danau Puchong. And the first thing I noticed about this particular sales gallery, right, look at that type of cinder block structure. Beautiful design. I mean, I think this is probably YTL's kind of signature kind of thing, right? So since we're here, why not we're going to check out the sales gallery as well lah. Now the unit over here, or this development, actually is on a 2.98 acre plot of land. This is leasehold, and the other thing is because this is actually a very low density development with only 428 units as a totality lah. So I think over here, what they're trying to do is to mimic the similar thing, but obviously because nowadays land is no longer so of abundance already, right? It's scarcity of land. So this over here has now 2.98 acres, right? You can develop about 400 plus units, and I got to say this is actually looking very interesting. And the main reason for that is because it's actually situated in a very strategic location of Puchong itself lah. Now for the people that knows Puchong, yes, it is very, very jammed. And to really locate where this is at, right, it's not too far away from IOI Puchong Mall lah. So if you want to come from that particular direction, it's maybe about 5 minutes of drive lah. Okay, now the first thing you notice about this particular place is that it comes with a private entryway to the place itself. And the main reason why it's called Danau is because there's going to be a beautiful lake right on this area over here. Now, if you look at in terms of the facade design, right, one thing about YTL that I've known of, that I've been to, right, they've always tried to do something a little bit bold, something that's a little bit more unique from what the market has seen. Now you can see over here, every single area, these are considered to be pocket facility areas, 27, 29, and then it just kind of just escalates up a little bit different from what you see in the market, right? Because honestly speaking, when you stay in a condo, right, the facility itself is very important. The last thing you want, right, is during like celebration times, you want to see fireworks, right? Everybody just crowd onto one facility podium, whereas this one over here has a separation to different areas as well lah. So kind of giving it the less claustrophobic feeling as well. So to give you guys a better context of where the development is, right, is that two blue color crane lah, because obviously YTL color scheme, right? They used to have their batching plant right over there. So it used to be YTL's cement batching plant, and now they're actually going to do this development called Danau lah. Okay, so there's going to be 4 layouts over here, and the showroom actually comes with Type B and Type C lah. And the first thing I noticed, right, is that the foyer area is damn massive. It's 6 by 10 according to the team. So it means that in front of your doorsteps itself, right, you have this massive foyer, which is for 2 purposes. One is for your shoe rack. The other is actually for privacy. So just imagine this, right? Most condo setting is like such. Even the showroom right now is like such, right? You walk already, then straight away you open the door, that's your unit. So basically it becomes less private in that sense, right? Because if you have another setback or 6 by 10, right, then at least you have a little bit area to kind of buffer before you go in. Oh, guys. Now the first thing I really like about this is the living hall is super wide. And I think this is easily how many feet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is easily about 15 feet in width, you know. So allowing a lot of natural sunlight to come into the living hall itself. Wow, guys, just imagine this. If you're living over here on the 15th, 20th, 30th floor, right, on a higher floor and towards the facing of the lake, is going to be super beautiful. Honestly speaking, for somebody like myself, right, I don't intend to have a lot of kids, so I don't really need to have a lot of room. But I do like entertaining guests, right? So a living hall that is spacious like such, right, is just to my liking. I mean, just look at this, right? How often do you see a living hall this big? Okay, now before we go to the rooms, let's check out the kitchen area. The kitchen area, of course, this is a showroom, right? ID treated already. So you're not going to get all these cabinets, all this kitchen island. But what you know is that you're going to get is the flooring over here. Now this one feels like a textured tile. Okay, it has like a bit of a marble grains running through. Now the yard area is actually also rather spacious. So if you want to put your washer, dryer and hang your clothes, no issue over here. Let me just show you the master bedroom. Look at this, guys. This is super spacious. Bear in mind, this is 800 plus in square footage. So this over here, honestly speaking, is massive. I think YTL has the concept of not trying to squeeze out so many rooms, but try to make it more livable. The concept over here is to just kind of make you feel like you're living, you know. Unlike other new developments nowadays, they're just trying to squeeze a lot of rooms within the 800 over square feet, right? But this one over here is just different because the living hall already take up so much space, right? Which I honestly appreciate this design lah. And the other part about it, right, is that when you look at the window frames also, it comes with this kind of white brush window metal frame, which honestly just kind of gives it a bit different design, and it's also those that is a bit tempered and is bigger and opens up on this direction as well. Wow. So coming here, the rooms itself, typical stuff like laminated timber flooring, good for when you're running the aircon, because if it tiles, then it's going to be a bit painful to walk on. And the toilet itself, I got to say, is very sizable, and it comes with this finishing as well that is already a bit more slip-proof in that sense lah. So yeah, toilet is also very spacious, and this is already ID treated, so nothing much to say. So as you come into the unit over here, you will notice that there's going to be a door, a separation door to actually get into a little bit of like a cabinet area. So maybe the cabinet is for you to put your clothes, and then straight away you can go to your shower area. And of course, shower area is also quite sizable, comes with a shower screen. I gotta say, this is rather spacious. You can easily fit a king-size bed here. This one in this setting right now is queen, so it just kind of gives you a visualization of how big this room is lah. And also the window frames are very similar to the one we saw just now, because both direction from the rooms is also facing towards the lake, similar to the living room itself. The main highlight here has to be the fact that it actually faces towards the beautiful lake, and the living hall is just super massive lah. I mean, 15 feet in width for a living hall, it is almost unheard of lah, especially when you're looking at the price point we are at today. Now the only one downside is having such a large living room is that your TV got to be super massive, because just look at the distance from my sofa all the way to my TV area. It's a bit too far. So in order for 15 feet range, right, you probably want to have maybe 85-inch TV, or better yet, just put a projector lah. So yeah, this part of the house is my favorite lah. The living hall is definitely, to me, chef kiss, man. I love this. Besides this particular layout that we have checked out, they also do offer a 3-bedroom layout. But to learn more about this, you got to come over here and check it out. And guys, this is where the construction site is happening. So eventually this area, I believe, is going to be where your private driveway to come in to your Danau project lah. This is the situation of where Danau is going to be at lah. Because there's ongoing developments within the area itself, the roads are a bit clunky lah, as you can see, right? Roads are not the most best tarred roads lah. And the commercial area that is within walking proximity to Danau itself, right? I'll just drive around to show you guys. This is car workshop. There is going to be a kopitiam and grill. Guan's is a very famous cafe. Very nice pastries and cakes. So yeah, this is where Danau is at. See the blue color cranes? Beautiful. Yeah, this is where the Danau project is going to take place. Now this is the actual site of where the Danau project is going to be at. Situated really not too far from Lake Edge and also the sales gallery lah. Now one thing I didn't really like about this place after finding out that it's in this geolocation is the fact that it's actually surrounded with rather old commercial or shop lots, right? As you can see, predominantly most of them are the car workshops lah. But you also get a very nice cafe not too far away. So if you are living in Danau in the future, this is one of the cafes you can go to lah. Basically, this thing called Guan's. So it's a nice cafe. See, for content, we all go and do this for you. Went inside to the site to check the place out, then kena this. Aiyo, how lah. Since we are so close to IOI Puchong Mall, for sure we're going to drop by. I think it was less than a 2-3 minute drive. We are here already from the actual site lah. So we are just going to get ourselves some coffee. Apparently you get it for $2.99. Ho ho, let's go. So I'm somebody that's no stranger to Puchong, right? The place itself, I think location-wise, number one, I'm very familiar with it. The only one thing that I may be a bit concerned about is because Puchong in general is already a very jammed location. So obviously, in order for you to actually get into the development itself, you need to make a big roundabout in order to get to that part of town, or you need to run through the other industrial area to get in lah. So the route to get into Puchong itself has never been the most pleasant to begin with, irregardless of where you stay in Puchong itself lah, because the demand over here is so high, right? Then the other thing is also because this particular location itself is also a part of town whereby there's a lot of construction going on. So as you see just now, we were passing by the area, you saw a lot of trucks coming out, and that's going to cause the road to be a little bit funky or wonky in that sense lah. But beyond that, for the price range of 500 plus thousand in Puchong itself, for a low density development, actually what more can you ask for? Because you have the lake view that we have pointed out earlier, and looking at how Lake Edge has already performed so well over the past 2 decades, right? YTL as a developer has already been known and in the market for a long period of time. You really don't have to be too worried, or you have that assurance that they're going to deliver on what they have promised in the past lah. So I think for me personally, looking at the way the layout is, especially having the living hall being so wide, right, that is something looking very interesting to me as a consumer point of view lah. Now, coming to things I really like about this place has to be the fact that the location itself just sells on its own lah. I mean, you're actually in Puchong. It's jammed, but it's jammed for a reason, because the demand over here is very high, from office workers to actually students as well. Because in order for you to get to Subang or towards the LDP highway, right, it's actually just one toll away. If you go from this direction, turn left, and then you're not too far, like maybe about 10 minutes, you're already at Sunway Pyramid Mall in that sense. Not to mention, if you want to go to Old Klang Road, right, just go all the way straight. Don't turn left to LDP, just go all the way straight, you can get to Old Klang Road. And if you want to go to Kinrara or Bukit Jalil, it's actually all not too far away. So in terms of location-wise, right, it's strategically located towards Sunway, Old Klang Road, and also towards Bukit Jalil area. And now if you want to go even further towards like Cyber Jaya, Putra Jaya, it's also not too far, because you can head towards the KLA route, and that maybe is another 15 to 20 minutes drive lah. So Puchong itself is like this transit point for all these locations. In my personal opinion, because I've been staying in Puchong for quite some time, I think Puchong for this price range, you really cannot complain too much lah. The last thing I like about this development has to be the fact that it also comes with its own private entryway to get into the development itself. So it doesn't have to be like a very clunky, a very weird development whereby you need to go through like a lot of housing estates before you get into the housing area lah. So I think that part to me I also really appreciate. And this is pretty much it for this particular property review. If you guys like content like such, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.